Are you ready to be empowered to live a life of emotional and financial freedom? Well, welcome to Freedom Starts Now. It's the show educating, entertaining, and inspiring with experts around the globe excited to guide you on a journey of exploration. And now, here's your host and freedom facilitator, Karen Theimer.
Hello. I hope everybody's having a great day. Welcome to Freedom Starts Now show. How's your week? How's your month going? Hope you're having a fantastic September so far. I love September because it's my birthday month. How many of you are Libras out there? Feel free to share. I would love to hear. Or actually, I guess Virgos are in this month too, aren't they? Anyway, hope you're having a great day so far, and welcome to, again, Freedom Starts Now. I started this journey doing these shows because freedom starts now to me means making a decision to change your life. If your life is going the same over and over and over again, and every day you're going, why doesn't anything change? Why won't my life get any better? Whatever that is, maybe financially, emotionally, physically. Well, it starts with making a decision. We really need to make a decision to make a change. And this is an ongoing event. I mean, we're on this journey for however long we're here in this planet, in this body, and it's important to live your life the fullest. So I'm actually excited to introduce my guest who, her name, hold on, I'm going to bring her up. Ilia, welcome, Ilia. And I'm sorry if I pronounce your last name. Kavoukis. Kavoukis. My apologies. You think I know by now after this time of knowing each other. But I'm just going to read a little bit about you, and then you're going to share even more about you. So Ilia has began her self-improvement journey early in life. She has become well posed with her 28 years. Oh my gosh. 28 years of Reiki Master, Reflexology, massage therapist. No wonder you and I get along so well. Massage therapist, master coach, and certified practitioner in Emotion and Body Code. I think I've heard of that before. Using this array of alternative approaches, has best bestowed on her a precious grasp of human nature and working knowledge to further promote her life's service. She is excited that her own healing journey has brought her to this place where she can take all her years of life learning and abilities to share them on a global level with women who are already to live a life that is equilibrium with all that surrounds them. I love that. Ilia and I met on Clubhouse. Maybe, I don't even know if it's been a year yet.
Probably.
Maybe around there. Well, welcome to Freedom Starts Now, my friend. Tell us more about yourself, how you got on this journey. What was your big turning point? What was your big mess where you went, something's gotta change? I mean, we all get many curveballs thrown at us, but what was the one where you just went, that's it, I'm done?
Well, first of all, thank you. And I want to wish you a happy birthday month. I hope you started celebrating.
Always, my friend, always.
Nice. So, yeah, I would say my journey started with a combination of physical pain and digestive things. I was getting intense headaches and I didn't know what was going on. And I reached out to, at the time I was going to a school called Natural Health Consultants Institute, NHC. And of course, I was just inspired to go to that school. I loved being around people who were energy workers and all of this alternative stuff. So, of course, when I started getting these headaches, I went and I talked to one of the naturopaths. And the first thing she asked me, she says, what are you eating? And at the time, I was so proud. I'm a vegetarian. And she was like, okay, well, what are you eating? And I had a restaurant at the time, and I was the pastry chef. And I had no idea how to eat. I had no idea how to eat to supplement all the nutrients, the protein that meat was giving me. And I just was eating wheat like 5 times a day, for
Mm,
breakfast, snack, lunch, dessert, snack, dinner. It was
more
like
snacks.
more snacks all day long. And at one point, with the stress, my body said, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Please stop. And she told me, she says, you got to cut out wheat and sugar. Wheat, for those of you who don't know, wheat is in all kinds of baked breads, pasta, bagels, crackers. Most of the stuff we eat, muffins, it all has wheat. If it says enriched flour, it's wheat. My husband a long time ago came home. He says, I went to the bakery and asked them for wheatless bread. They said, I said, I want bread with no wheat. And the woman's like, paid like minimum wage. She's going through the breads and she's like, oh, this says enriched flour. It doesn't say wheat on it. So my cousin, I go, here you go, honey. He was so happy to bring. I'm like, enriched flour is wheat. He's like, oh, I give up.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know. And this was over 20 years ago. So people at the time didn't know, and least of all me. But I heeded her advice. I stayed off of wheat and white sugar for 3 weeks, and my life changed.
Amazing.
And I was like, holy cow, that's really, are we that sensitive to food? Are we like, what are we putting in our body that our body's screaming at us with pain or discomfort that, we're not listening? So that changed my whole life. I started doing nutritional courses. I started doing yoga. I was doing everything alternative. And I think that's the beginning of my alternative route. But if I think back, I think I was always like a little bit into alternative. I just didn't know. I just didn't know. So,
and you were saying that your body was in pain, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
headaches. I was tired, like joint, discomfort. So, and headaches. I mean, up to the point where at 3:00 after the lunch rush, I would start getting a headache, like maybe about 2-ish. I would be incapacitated till like 7:00 in the evening.
Wow.
I'd have to sleep it off. But even when I woke up, I'd be like, oh my God, and now I have to think about making food and what's the easiest thing to put together is pasta, right? When you don't feel like cooking.
I know it is the easiest thing, isn't it? It's like, pasta.
Exactly. But you do that. The body is like, if you eat something way too much, if you abuse one element, your body's going to like, I can't do this anymore. I don't have the digestive enzymes. And I don't know if your listeners know this, but wheat is highly genetically modified.
Yeah.
So the body doesn't recognize the food we're eating if it's genetically modified. We've adapted. It's incredible how we've adapted, and we managed to survive eating all of this GMO stuff. But we're not thriving, that's for sure.
Yeah. And we really are what we eat. Eh? Like I know for me, and I mean, it didn't happen overnight. I think intuitively I kind of knew a lot of stuff, but it's really when you get in tune with your body. Like I know if I'm eating crap all week, and crap for me is like the breads, I don't eat a ton of pasta, but it's like, the carbs for me, right?
Yeah.
I love my carbs, right? But
who doesn't?
I know, right? But I find like after a while, then I start feeling like I'm tired, I'm cranky. And same thing. I feel it in my joints, depending on what I'm eating. If I'm eating like ice cream and I'm like Jacob, our friend, I do love ice cream. I don't eat it that often, but but if I eat ice cream, my joints all ache, my legs ache, and it's like, what is this? And I realized, and then I learned that it's inflammation, right? But
exactly.
When I start feeling cranky and feeling tired all the time, it's like, I have to pause and go, why do I feel like this? Oh, look at my diet this week, right? We really are what we eat.
Exactly.
if you feel good and vibrant and energetic and you wake up like, with energy and that kind of stuff, then, you're fueling your body well, right?
Exactly. And the mind.
And the mind.
Is aside is when we're not eating properly, we just have not pure thoughts. Like the thoughts are like, I'm not like super strict. I'll indulge occasionally. I'll forget to ask for gluten-free bread. I'm not celiac, which is like totally intolerant. You can't even rub it on your face kind of thing. You get a reaction. I'm not celiac, but it's a choice. I know it's an intolerance, so it's a choice not to eat it. And I'll occasionally forget to ask, but I'll finish eating the sandwich or whatever, I'll eat it. But if I do that a couple of days in a row, plus if I eat dairy, which is another a no food, it's just the body does not recognize it. We're the only species that continues to eat milk, drink milk and dairy products after we finish, breastfeeding from our mother. We're the only species. There's no other species that continues to eat milk. Yeah. Once we finish breastfeeding, we do not have the enzymes anymore to digest it. And it's our own flesh and blood. It's not another animal. It's not a foreign, species. So we just don't have the enzymes. So our body creates a mechanism called mucus to ward against it, because it's like, well, what is this? So I might as well protect myself just in case. And then that mucus builds up over time. And then we have sinus problems and inflammation, like you were saying. So when I indulge in like the three big ones, right? Dairy, wheat, and sugar, which is a dessert. If I do that a couple of times a week, right away, I notice my thoughts get really dark. I mean, not like, I want to kill somebody kind of dark, but like, oh, what is all this about? Like, oh, why do I even bother? Life sucks. And then I go, like you, what was I eating this week? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And wow. I forgot that. What I remember learning that I did go to holistic nutrition school. Do I remember all of it? Oh gosh, no. But you just reminded me of that. That's right. And I guess that's why a lot of people have intolerances to dairy. I'm guessing. So that's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I guess.
And they think it's the lactose. They think it's the sugar, the sugar in dairy. They think of that. So they figure, oh, if I have lactose free, sure, that helps to a certain extent, but it's not the whole thing. You really have to cut it out. For some people who are like, really, they have to have their dairy, I suggest the smaller animal, which is like goat or sheep. We tolerate that a little bit better because the molecule are smaller. Because look at the cow. Look how big that cow has to grow. So the molecules in that milk is huge.
Yeah.
But the molecules are much smaller in goat or sheep. So we can digest it better. But again, you don't want to be eating it every day, maybe once a month or whatever. But again, it's a personal choice. Some people have no idea what's happening in their body. They're so numb. They have any discomfort, pill popping.
We had that conversation this morning.
Yeah. They're just like, oh, my back hurts again. Oh, take a Tylenol, take an Advil, just it'll go away. And it does go away temporarily. It's like magic.
Yeah.
But at what price?
Yeah. Well, I always tell people, your body speaks a language. And I know I forget the author of that book, and I want to come back to reading that. But our body does speak a language. If you're gassy, if you're bloated, if you're, belching, if you get like any symptoms, anything, headaches, migraines, joint ache, whatever, heartburn, that's your body speaking a language. And,
exactly.
A lot of people, I'm trying to not generalize everybody, but a lot of people aren't even aware, right? It's like, but we're
That's
designed
exactly
to,
right.
we're programmed to go, I need it fixed now because I got to carry on with life.
That's
right. And I always tell people, it's almost like the body, especially, as a massage therapist, as we know, right? I'm always saying, your body, again, speaks a language. It pokes you. Is this bugging you? Is this bugging you? Is this bugging you? And we ignore it. No, it's fine. It's fine. it gets a little louder. Is this bugging you? Is this bugging you? Is this bugging? It gets louder and louder and louder until all of a sudden, oh, you go to reach for something, cough, sneeze, and then all of a sudden you go, oh, my back, right? Or, oh, I've got a dis-ease in my body, right? So it takes a 2x4 to you and says, are you paying attention now?
Yeah.
So if you're, and usually, unfortunately, this is how a lot of people are, right? Because I think we're just so programmed. We don't have time to deal with this, or give me a quick pill and let's make it go away. But then people are like, I don't know how it happened. I don't know how my back went. I just reached. And it's like, how long have you had little twinges in your back? How long has your back been bugging you? Right. Yeah. So for instance, I like using backs because that seems to be a lot lately.
Yes.
And I think it's been already speaking to, but it's important for us to learn and educate people. Here's where you need to pay attention.
Yeah.
To your body, because it's part of you. Don't listen to this. Listen to your body, right?
Well, massage, let's talk about massage. You were saying earlier, there's so many benefits to massage, right? Especially if you get it weekly or often enough. But the best for me is the body consciousness, the body awareness that it gives, that we develop while we're getting massaged. We get closer and closer to our body, closer and closer to listening to our body. Mm-hmm. Oh, it kind of froze. Is everything?
Oh, can you? I'm here.
You're good. Okay, great.
Okay.
So we're getting closer and closer to hearing our body, because like you said, our body's constantly talking to us. It's like, hey, do you feel that yet? No. And then it's only then when you're sitting in the doctor's office and they're giving you the big C diagnosis or whatever, MS, and you're like, oh, I was in perfect health. I had no problems.
I don't know what happened.
Exactly. And you just wonder, what? Maybe I'm like one of these people that have a low threshold for pain. I don't want any discomfort. And thank God I was exposed to just the right people who were pointing me in the right direction about, doing yoga, doing, nutrition and focusing on that. And I just learned that when I do this, I have this. So I'm not going to do that. And I won't get this. And then when I do yoga and breathing and regular massages, and when I go for my walks, and when I'm surrounding my world with beautiful people like you, Karen, then life just, smooth and it's, it's not dark. It's there's no depression. Not that I was prone to depression, but you have your moments sometimes.
Oh, of course.
What's happening? And I just, life works so much better when I take care of my physical body.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm so grateful. I mean, there's some people that don't have use of their legs. They have major problems since they were born. I'm so grateful that I don't have these issues. So I have a little bit of, well, like I was saying, low threshold for pain. That's okay. I have, some digestive issues. I can't digest, large amounts of wheat. That's okay. It's not even a healthy food anyways.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Anything. And they even say people get addicted to it. Yes. Anything that you crave that you cannot live without is poison as far as I'm concerned. Because you're never going to hear somebody say, oh my God, I have to have my carrots and my zucchini, right? They're going to say, oh, where's my baguette? Where's my, where's my croissant? Where are my crackers?
I need my bag of chips.
My bag, or what's the bagels? People are like, we have this great bagel place in my town, and thank goodness it's organic flour, but it's still wheat. And I mean, this guy's doing amazing, because, first of all, it smells great when you go by. So people are like, come, I'll have one, please. And then, they don't wait till they get home. They're eating their bagels on the street.
Well, I know Montreal. I forget how far Montreal is from you, but I know they're known for their bagels, and oh my God, their bagels are so good. Yeah. I'm just gonna go. There's a few comments here from the Breakthrough Show. Sweet. Yay! So happy Thursday. Love the emotion code. So we'll definitely have to tap on that. Carbohydrates are so important for our brain health, but healthy carbs, not Oreos. I do love a good Oreo. I have to agree with you on that. But I hear you. Everything in moderation. Yes, so many people don't know that about dairy fact and being the only species. And like I said, I'm just like, oh, right. I'm pretty sure I learned that before. If you don't listen to your body when it whispers, it will scream. Absolutely. We have to listen. And actually, ha ha ha, sometimes I feel kind of way about, she feels kind of way about delicious roasted carrots. Yum, 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 yum. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I do love
nice.
roasted carrots. With a little bit.
Nice.
I do have a sweet tooth. I know that. So
Well,
yeah.
we all do. We all do. But the Mother Nature gave us the most incredible gift, and that's fruit, right?
Yeah.
Because we all, the brain, that's what it needs. It's the glucose that those carbs break down into. That's what the brain thrives on. Okay, the majority of the brain. So yeah, we need those fruits. We have this thing that we call it fruit fear in my world. People are afraid of fruit. Oh, don't eat too much fruit. You're going to have candida and you're going to have high blood sugar. It's not going to happen unless you're eating, I don't know, 7 pounds of fruit a day. You know what I mean? But every time you have something like a little low of energy, have an apple, have some berries, you don't have to have the whole you don't have to have 10 apples, 1 apple. It's magical, the fruit, how fruit can sustain us and heal us.
Yeah. I remember being in, I need to live in a tropical country. So we have more options for fruit. Let's go. I remember going to Costa Rica and the papaya. I never liked papaya until I went to Costa Rica. And I was like, what is this? Are you kidding me?
So
It
good.
was so delicious. And of course, I bought papaya a couple of times here thinking like around the same time when it's in season there. And it's awful. I'm like, oh.
No, it's not the same, eh?
No, it has some weird taste. But
yeah.
Well, how did you get into, and thank you for sharing all that nutrition information, because there's a lot. And I think it's important to share because a lot of people don't understand nutrition.
They don't see the link.
And I'm still learning. Yeah, they don't see the link. And I think it's important for us to educate.
Yeah.
Definitely like around the immune system, as you know, and how food helps and how the not so great food doesn't help us and all that. But talk about, how did you get into Reiki? Because I'm starting to learn more and more about, I don't really know a lot about, I understand energy healing, not to the good degree like actually how the Reiki part of it, I don't even know what I'm saying at the moment, but talk about Reiki. I'm not sure where I was going with that, but
It's all right.
this emotion code, because I had somebody try that on me, introduce me to it, and it was very cool.
I'll start with the Reiki.
Okay.
In 1994 or 93, I walked into NHC, Natural Health Consultants. I was like, what is this place? Because somebody recommended, I was reading Celestine Prophecy. Do you remember that book? It was like one of my first books on energy, right? I was just like, I was getting chills. I was like, oh my God, this book is incredible. What is it? And one of my friends saw me reading this book. She goes, if you like that book, you like NHC. I'm like, NHC? It was right around the corner from where I live. I couldn't believe it. So I walked in, and that was the first thing I took, was a Reiki initiation in 1994. This was like 28 years ago, right? I couldn't believe, I just loved it. And I took the second level a couple of years later and the third master level and so on and so forth. And I just loved it. I was just soaking up all this energy, right? And then eventually I got into reflexology, and then I was like, okay, with the Reiki and reflexology, because that's on the feet, the reflexology, I was like, okay, this is not enough to make a living. And I was, talking to massage therapists who were, actually making a living just on their massage therapy practice. I'm like, okay, I have to do that. So that was the last thing I added as far as those. And then from there, it took off. I was able to, just work just like I have my own. This is my office here,
That's beautiful.
my table, and so this is my practice. And I was in Montreal when I started all of this, and I moved out the year I finished my massage therapy certificate. I moved to this town, small town in the Appalachian Mountains in southern Quebec. I just love it here. You know, I could never go back to a city to live. Never mind, just 24 hours. I'm like, get me out of here. This is
I want to come visit you one day. One day it will happen.
Yes, I would love that. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm going to stay here forever, but I just love the country, you know, the living, and we have this beautiful market that I go to, and there's a farmer's market / flea market, and it's just a great, you know, country living. So as I was going, and I'm going to answer your second question, as I was going along and, you know, working with people, I felt like there was always something missing. Like there was like a little missing link. Doing the body work, energy work was great. I loved it. Really amazing. But there was just always something seemed to be missing. Like, you know, people were coming back. People were coming with the same thing, or it would go away and then it would come back. And I was like, what is missing? There's got to be something missing. So sure enough, I realized that there was a lot of emotional stuff that was not addressed, right? There was a lot of trauma in the body that was stuck there. And then I think on one of my emails, like the little advertisement came up on stuff, you know, would you like to eliminate emotions completely? Something like that. I can't even remember. And that was Dr. Bradley Nelson's marketing, you know, campaign. And I clicked on it and started with the free stuff, which is the book, Emotion Code, the book. And you learn about the trapped emotions and how you can clear them out using muscle testing to find them, and then clearing them, with a magnet. And I was hooked. I was like, oh my God. And then eventually I got this certification in Emotion Code. And then eventually I got the certification in the Body Code, because it's the next level from there. And, you know, it was probably a total of about $6,000 Canadian.
Wow.
Going through that. It took about 2-3 years. It was slow. It was intense. And I used it for many, many years. I used it on me. I used it on my daughter, my family, my clients, my friends, everybody who would, you know, who wouldn't mind using because we use a magnet going down the nervous system, the back, to clear. Anyways, it definitely, I call it coming out of the closet. You know, when I finally introduced it to my massage clients, they were like, what are you doing? But then I would put like little posters here, and then the people who asked, I knew were ready. Yeah. What's Emotion and Body Code? What's that? I'd be like, yeah. So I would tell them, and I was confident. And then they switched. Eventually, they came into Emotion and Body Code, and you know, it was amazing, amazing results. I really feel like that was an amazing tool that I use for myself to clear a lot of trapped emotions, and for my daughter. My daughter, you know, she was kind of like one of those teenagers. You're like, oh my God, is she ever going to make it?
My parents say the same about me too.
Yeah. I was just like, oh my God, I think I've screwed her up, you know, kind of thing, right? So I really spent a lot of time doing Emotion and Body Code on myself, and then it's transgenerational, right? It helps me. It helps our offsprings and our ancestors. And then I would work directly on her. And I really feel like she just transformed before my eyes.
Oh, I love
that. I mean, she's 24 now. She's full adult. You know, she's got a partner. She's got pets. They've got, you know, not quite a house they own, but they rent a house. She's got a job. She's a manager in her company. I mean, just like all of these things that you wish for your children to be like healthy, full adult, responsible, you know. She's there and above and beyond, you know, what I hope for. She went through you know, some higher education, and she finished it. And so, yeah, I love the Emotion and Body Code. Honestly, though, I rarely use it right now. I rarely use it because, and it's very normal for people to say that after they go through it, because it's an amazing tool to open up the higher faculties,
Right.
like our intuition and all of that. And when I work with clients now, I use another process that I've learned that is they're also doing the work, and I'm teaching them how to do it for themselves. Whereas the Emotion and Body Code, I have to be there to do it for them. So
Right.
it's not empowering them. And that's what I'm all about. I'm about empowering my clients, because even with the massage and the reflexology, yes, it's great. I'm not saying don't come and don't go for massages. Yes. But I want something that people can do on a regular basis that will help them to be more conscious and more body awareness. And they don't have the suffering. They don't create all the pain in their body.
Yeah. I
So
love that.
that's where I'm at now. And I wouldn't have gotten there or here without the Emotion and Body Code. That's for sure.
Very cool. And really, I mean, we do hold stuck emotions, right? And
Absolutely.
you know, and I'll share my recent story because I can't remember if I shared it on Clubhouse yesterday. But so I guess what, 2 months ago, I don't know, time just goes, right? So it's like, or it just kind of goes a little bit fast. But I guess maybe 2 months ago, I had I'm guessing probably COVID, because I lost my sense of smell. But I had this weird pain in my ribs, right? I was like, what the heck is this? And of course, your mind takes you on this crazy journey, right? So anyway, that started to finally feel better. It took me about a week after reaching out to one of my mentors and said, Dr. Bob, what do I need here? Here, take this supplement, that supplement, yada, 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 and take a lot of it, right? So he has his protocol. So I took that, and a week later, thank you, I got my smell back, right? That was the most trippiest thing. Anyway.
I know.
Yeah, it was very strange, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, so okay, fine. And then I think it was about 2 weeks later. So that was on my left side. About 2 weeks later, our tomatoes are in this big round, I think it was a horse feeder at one point. And it has this metal bar, like, I don't know, chest high or whatever on me anyway. And I was reaching over on my right side, I was reaching over to grab a tomato, and I couldn't quite reach it. So I was trying to overreach. Metaphor here, right? So I was overstretching myself, and all of a sudden, and I've got this metal bar going into my ribs, and I hear pop, pop. And I was like, oh crap. This pop, pop probably is not a good thing, right? Anyway, fast forwarding, nothing broke, thank God, right? But it was painful. And then I was at my NLP intensive 3-day workshop on the weekend, and that pain intensified. So I did that maybe a week and a half before this workshop, right? Anyway, and the pain was getting worse and worse. I'm like, shit, like, did I puncture? Welcome to our brain. Did I puncture something? Did I damage my
crack a rib or something?
like what the heck? Anyway, so, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if I did puncture anything, I would have known 2 weeks ago, right? Anyway, fast forwarding, I'm at this workshop, and I'm just like, what is this about? Like, and I was banging into things, and I'm like, what am I not paying? Like, obviously, I'm getting a message saying, pay attention here. So I asked one of the teachers, I said, what is this? Like, I'm stumped. And she goes, there was a few things she said, but what really stuck out with me was, where are you feeling caged in? There was stuff around a mommy and daddy thing as well, but she goes, where are you feeling caged in? And I knew exactly what she was talking about. You know, that inner voice going, oh, I can't shine. You know, I was told as a little kid to probably settle down, you know, don't go hyper, you know, stop talking. So my brain takes on of, I can't shine, right? My dad and I used to butt heads. So therefore I felt like he didn't love me. So here's this showing up now for me, going, you know, I feel like I can't shine because who's going to love me, right? I mean, that's not how the adult Karen thinks, but that's how the little child thinks.
Yeah.
Show up obviously as an adult, right? So I was just like going, oh my God, that makes sense. And then there was a lot more to it, but that was like the main thing. That night, I felt 50% better. That pain was 50% better. And I was like, Jesus, Murph, this is crazy. So anybody who's watching, pay attention to this stuff, right? Because it's important, and then find the right people to help guide you through like what these different, what the different disease, pain, all that, what is it representing deeper down, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to share that. So that's why I say like the body is holding on to things and
Exactly.
you, right?
Yeah. And it's everything that happens to us in our adult world, during our adult years, is an opportunity to heal what happened in our younger years, because
Yeah.
those were the formative years. That's when we came up to all these conclusions about what life is, absorbed other people's ideas, and then we spend the rest of our life trying to undo all of that crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing because I mean, I have learned so much from you. I remember after a ceremony and I was like, I don't know who to turn to here because all these emotions were, and thank gosh, I'm so blessed to have the people in my life that I do. So thank you for that again. But after I went to a big healing ceremony, I had all these emotions coming up of like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with this, right? Ilia, help. So, but it made a big difference. And I think, yeah, I don't know. It just, there's so much to healing the body, healing the past traumas, and trauma, as you know, can be anything, right?
Yeah, exactly.
About a cartoon or watch a cartoon like Flintstones. How violent is that?
And
Right?
Bugs Bunny. Oh my
Bugs
God.
Bunny. These can be traumas to our little brains as kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
We were talking about TV yesterday in Jacob's clubhouse room, right? And I forgot to mention how violent movies and TV can be for the child's mind. And I have a friend who's really aware of this, and her child is probably about 6 now, has not watched anything on TV or movies unless it was screened by her mother. So she's really aware, because first of all, thank God she did that for her child, because her child is super, super sensitive, right? And most children born after 97, 98 are these starseed children that are so sensitive, they come in, they're so advanced, they bring in the light, and they're hypersensitive. So if you know of anybody who has a child that's younger than 24, 25, right? And or has a child around that age, and you're just wondering, I don't know what to do with this child. This person is, they speak weird things, and do not judge them. Try to understand them. Just try to hear them and see them. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just speaking a different language that we just didn't know about. Thank goodness. Again, I was exposed to people who led me and directed me and pushed me in the right direction. And I heard and I listened and I acted. Like, I'll give you one example. I was pregnant with my daughter, Alexa. And I was with some people who were telling me that one of them wrote a book. And one of the things in the books was, she was saying that it's not a good idea to give birth to children in hospitals. And I was like, well, where else would you have? Because I didn't know, right? And she says, well, you hire a midwife and you have it at home, if you can, if you're, if you don't have any complications. And I was like, okay, why? And she says, because some people are dying in the hospitals while other people are being born. And the people who die, sometimes their soul doesn't want to go. And I was like, this is like way woo-woo for me, right? That was like, even at the time, I was like, what? And they're looking for fresh hosts. So the babies that are being born, they're not quite anchored into their body yet. It takes them months, sometimes years, right? So you can have a walk-in, you can have somebody then. And I was listening to, I've been even listening to myself now going, oh my God, I'm not going over that edge here with our listeners. But something in me was like, that is true. So what did I do? I hired a midwife and I had a home birth. And it just so happens that my Alexa's father had a house, which we lived in, who had a jacuzzi in the bedroom. So then I heard about water births and how gentle it is for the baby to go from the water world within us into water, and water births are very popular. But something in me was like, yes, I want to do that. And her father was totally game. He was, no hospital? Oh, great. I hate hospitals. You want to do a water birth? Great. I have a jacuzzi.
That's awesome.
So she was born, and thank goodness, because she was a sensitive, like she, at a very young age, she can tell the difference between salmon and trout. I mean, they're both pink fish, right? They're both very similar, but one's from the ocean, one's from river, lake. So anyways, that was just a random example of how sensitive she was, even in her taste buds. So thank goodness I listened, and it was just, I was in the right place, right time. And I kept trusting my intuition, like vaccines. I didn't vaccinate her. And everybody's like, well, you're throwing her under a bus. What are you doing? You crazy? I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. My sister's like, what if she dies? I said, well, she can die from a vaccine or get, learning disabilities and other diseases. If she's meant to die, she'll die. I have no control of it. They were all looking at me. Now, of course, they're going, how did you know this? This was like, you were way ahead of how did you know not to? I'm like, I didn't know. When I heard the advice, there was a part of me that was just like, yes, this is true.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have to listen to that little voice.
Yes, exactly.
Nice voice. Not the one that beats you up, but listen to the little voice. You're being guided, for a reason, right?
Exactly.
But anyway, well, my friend, I do have to wrap this up. I always thank you. Oh my gosh, I always love chatting with you.
Oh, likewise.
Yes, I always learn so much. And yeah. So my question for you, well, I have a couple of questions. So one is, what does freedom mean to you? I always like to ask my listeners, my guests, my listeners and my guests. How's that?
Sure.
What does freedom mean to you?
So freedom to me, and I love this question, is about being able to make choices, is to know that we have choices and to be able to make choices and know that no matter what, even if you're behind prison bars. I had a conversation with somebody whose son was threatened to do serious time. And she came to me because she was just a basket case. She didn't know what to do. And I say that very seriously. She didn't know. And we went through, different processes. And so it's fresh in my mind. So this idea of being in a situation where you think you have no control, right? The truth is you always have control, and you always have the freedom. It's called free will to choose how you're going to react.
Yeah.
Okay. So I said, let's go to worst case scenario. Your son does get convicted and he does X amount of years. What would you do? What would happen? And of course, she was just like beside herself, right? But that was the opening to do the deep work. And I got to talk to the son, and the same thing, I said, no one decides whether you're trapped or free. You decide. Even the language in the legals is your sentence hearing. So we changed the language. You'd appreciate this now studying NLP. I said, from now on, you're going to call it the freedom hearing.
Ooh, I like that. Good one.
What is this business? Why do they want people in the prisons? Why is it a sentence hearing? How about a freedom hearing or a liberation? Whatever feels right for you, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm very happy to say, and they all are too, he's walking free right now on the streets. He was innocent and the whole bit. So the point is, we are free when we choose to, we are free. Some people who are free, who are multimillionaires, they walk around, they're the least free people. They don't have choices. I can't change that. No, I can't do that. Well, why don't you calm, why don't you do this? Oh, no, I can't do that. And you think money can solve all our problems? It just makes more, right? So freedom is choice, that the ability to choose. That's my answer.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It is about choice at the end of the day. I agree. Yeah. So where can people find you? How do they connect with you? Do you have any gifts?
I'll give anybody who reaches out to me. My website is iliakavoukis.com. ILIAKAVOUKIS, Kavoukis, iliakavoukis.com. And if you email me with Ilia at iliakavoukis.com, and you say you heard it here on Karen Theimer's show, I created a program, an audio version of me with this, what I call the Breaths to Bliss audio program. So it's a breathing and visualization technique for basically achieving inner peace and bliss. So I'll send you, anyone who emails me, again, Ilia at iliakavoukis.com. I'll send you a link and with a code to get it completely free. That good?
Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. And they can follow you on Instagram.
Oh, yes.
Facebook. And are you on any other socials? Is it just
I'm on Clubhouse, Instagram, Facebook. So check out Ilia Wellness. It's pretty much who you'll find me. Yeah.
Beautiful. Awesome.
Oh, Karen, this was great. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. And thank you for being part of my show today. And I will see you again in the morning on Clubhouse. Well, virtually see you kind of thing on Clubhouse. And thank you, everybody, for listening. And we will see you again soon. Bye, Ilia.
Bye, Karen. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everybody, for another great show on Freedom Starts Now. Hope you enjoyed this conversation, and take care and really start to pay attention to your body. Just listen for those little signs that go, this doesn't feel normal. And if you think it feels normal, it probably isn't. Because I get people that say, oh, I'm gassy or I'm belchy, but this is normal. Or I get this bloating. This is normal. That's not normal. Listen to your body and pay attention. And if you don't know the answers, reach out to those people who could possibly help you out. There's a lot of amazing nutritionists, holistic nutritionists, regular dietitians. I don't know, but there's lots of information out there. Find one person that you can relate to. If you can relate to us, feel free to reach out, and we will talk to you soon. Bye for now. Have a great day.
Thank you for watching Freedom Starts Now with Karen Theimer, only on the Breakthrough Show Network. Please visit our website at thebreakthroughshow.com to catch all past episodes and, of course, connect with Karen. Until next time, break free and find freedom.